Chuck.
And I'm Dr. Steph.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Our Life, Our Journey.
Our truth.
So excited to have you connected every week to this place. We appreciate all of you so much for just being connected. It means a lot to us. And as you are watching this YouTube channel, we want to make sure you comment, make sure you like, make sure you share.
And subscribe.
Please do, because we want you to be a part of this community. And make sure you follow Dr. Steph. She's dropping that wisdom, man. Dr. Steph Walker out there on Instagram. Follow me at Joseph Walker 3. If you want our new book, it's called Becoming a Couple of Destiny. It'll bless your life. And of course, we want you to get it. Go to josephwalker3.org. Also, if you want us to come into an area and speak to your group, your organization, we love to do that because we have a good time.
Yeah, we love. Every place that we've gone to, we've had a fantastic time, and we've been doing quite a bit of that. So.
An amazing time. So we look forward to that. So we thank you so much, and we're ready to get into this topic because this was going to be a good one. And how do you receive constructive criticism without being offended?
Yeah, and it's interesting because this is actually a question that we got from one of you guys, right? And so again, going down in the comments, letting us know, asking us questions, letting us know what you want to hear from us, what topics you want us to talk about.
Yeah.
So okay, let's go.
So let's deal with it. So I mean, let's be very clear. So I think the first thing is, and I tell people this all the time, you can't accept constructive criticism from people who haven't constructed anything.
Right.
So at least you got to know the source for which it comes.
Making sure it's coming from the right
from a legitimate
person,
source, etc. And I think, the way to really avoid offense is to recognize that people who come from a place of genuineness and wanting to see you win are really telling you this because they want to see you in your best self.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we've learned in leadership is that you need people to tell you the truth.
Right.
And that's not always easy to receive, right? There have been, for example, there have been instances where I got offended when she told me, she, kind of gave me some constructive criticism, and vice versa. Can you remember a time you told me something and you felt like...
All the time.
Give me an example.
I don't want to. No, you give me an example.
No, give me an example.
No, all the time, every day.
You criticize me every day? What kind of marriage is this? Every day you criticize me? No, she's kidding. No, but like constructive criticism. Honey, you could do, this is how she said, honey, when I say honey on the front end.
What I say is, honey, I love you, right?
Always that.
And then I'll make a suggestion. Have you ever thought about, or, when you did X, Y, and Z, perhaps you can do it this other way, or perhaps you, instead of saying this, you can say that, or perhaps you can think about these 3 things the next time you.
So then the reality then for those who are listening is it's not so much what you say,
but how you say it.
How you say it.
But I think from what I'm understanding from the question that was asked of us, sometimes you can't control how the person says it, right? Like if it's a professor at school, or if it's a mentor or someone that you respect, I think, one, taking a step back, why is this person someone that I respect, right? And so then if I respect them because they have done X, Y, and Z, when they're looking at me and telling me to my face that I need to possibly think about these other things, or think about a different approach, or consider doing things differently, or perhaps I said something a certain way and it could have been said this way, or perhaps there are 3 other things that I'm not thinking about, or perhaps I turn in the paper and the way that I wrote it wasn't up to par and they're making corrections on my homework or assignment or what have you. The goal is to always make you better, right? And again, though, going back to the source, does this person have a genuine interest in you? Does this person really have they proven themselves to really want you to get ahead?
That's good.
From a person who has proven themselves to want you to want to help you get ahead, the onus is on you to be receptive enough to receive that type of criticism. It's not up to them to watch their language and curve it in the right way. That their goal is to help you, right? And so for those specific people, and I am talking about a specific group of people, you have to kind of put on your armor a little bit, like get your tough skin out to receive it. And I would say receive it wholeheartedly, write it down, take it to heart if they've already shown you that they're only looking out for your best interests. Because I've had people who I've mentored and the people who listen to the constructive criticism and make those adjustments, they soar. They soar. And it's the people who sit in the corner, whine and complain and say that you're being, and they're still stuck. Still stuck in the same place, even to this day, doing the same thing, never achieving, right? So sometimes it's a personality or a characteristic of an individual to not be able to receive criticism, or sometimes it's because you didn't hear what you hear. Now this person is the enemy. That's, you got to check yourself, right? Like, I'm not telling you this for my personal health. I've already achieved. I'm telling you this because of what I've seen, what I've experienced. I'm giving you sort of a golden ticket so that you don't have to make these same mistakes over and over again. Take it for what it is, take it or leave it, but the rest is up to you in terms of when you do receive this information, how are you going to move forward? And sometimes, yes, sometimes the truth hurts, but I can guarantee you if it's real and it's authentic and if it's coming from a good place, even if you can't appreciate in the moment and your feelings are hurt, if you take it and test it, you will benefit from it and you will turn around and come back and should come back and thank them later, And so just being really mindful of having hurt feelings because someone is trying to help you. And I would just go a step further, and this doesn't just come from like professors and educators and that kind of setting, mentors. It also comes in friendships, right? Like, if I am not friend enough to tell you the truth, then I'm not a friend. And if you're not friend enough to see the love, to see that I love you and care about you, and the only reason why I'm risking our relationship, our friendship, to tell you the truth, knowing that you won't like it, is because I do care. Right? And so if you can't handle it, that's on you. Right? And so just being very careful and very mindful. But again, going back to history, does this person have a proven track record of wanting me to be great as well?
Wow, you said a mouthful. I mean, a lot. I think it's so important, right? Because I think that one of the things that I've found in interpersonal relationships, particularly with mentees, is that when people get offended, sometimes it's not so much that it's being hysteria. Sometimes it's historical. They view that as shame. The shame comes out. I'm not the insecurities come out.
Or it's historical because they're used to people hating on them. And so the moment that you say something that
Adverse,
that is not like complimentary, they revert back to those days or back to that moment, not being used to anyone who's used to pouring into them in that way.
So I think it's important, like, really to be clear that you don't have to take criticism to the degree that a person's against you. That if a person who is a mentor, person that has already achieved, is giving you constructive criticism, consider that a gift.
Because at the end of the day, if I don't care for you,
say nothing.
If I don't love you, if I don't really have a vested interest, not invested as in I'm getting something out of this, but vested as in my heart is in this for you to win this, right?
That's so
If
good.
I don't have a vested interest, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to be like, oh, that's nice, and keep it moving.
Sure will do
But
that.
if I care, I'll be like, girl, okay, this is what you need to do, and this is why. And, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. And I'm going to tell you the real deal and hope and pray that you can receive it so that you can move on.
Wow. I've been blessed with people that have told me the truth. This one, my mentors, leaders that have come to me. And I think when I talk about a gift, is the person that's willing to come face to face with you, give that constructive criticism, and also show you a path forward. And when you receive it, when you receive it, you must recognize that you are now responsible for auto-correcting certain behaviors and thoughts and patterns and methodologies so that you can go forward in victory. I think a lot of times when you hear a mentor say something, you reject it. Oh, you're trying to do this. And then you end up in the same place
Situation.
year after
Asking
year.
yourself, why am I still
Why
here?
am I still here?
I keep working really hard, but I'm not getting anywhere because you keep doing the same thing over and over again. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Right? And so for someone to step in when they keep seeing you spinning in circles and they're like, hey, look, maybe you should try this, this, and this. Or perhaps you're going in circles because you're doing X, Y, and Z. Try something different. Try this, try that. Like, take heed. You have nothing to lose by taking the advice.
Thank God for the people that tell you the truth. Thank God
Yes.
for the people that constructively criticize you.
Yes.
I just had a series of ministers to preach in our ministry, and I was overly complimentary of them. But then all of them sent me a message collectively and said, "We want your
Critique.
critique." And so
I
now
believe
I'm
that.
drafting this critique,
Yeah.
like you could do this better, that better, because they're welcoming of it. And you have to, if you're going to get better, if iron sharpens iron, you're going to have to welcome constructive criticism and not allow the imaginations of the enemy to come in your head and draw down on personal insecurities and things you've held on for years and think that the world is against you. Nobody wants to see you succeed. You've got to welcome it. And I think what I've learned, you've learned every step of the way. I want somebody to critique me. I
Yeah.
want somebody to help me get better. How am
Yeah.
I doing in this area?
Yeah.
What can I do better in this area?
Yeah.
Because that's how you grow. Ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen, that's how you become successful.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's not just in relationships, right? Like in the medical field,
Yeah.
if something happens in the hospital, you circle up, you talk about what was done right, and then you turn around, you talk about what was not done so well.
Okay.
What are some areas of growth so that the next time this incident occurs, we can do better. Like if there's an adverse outcome for a patient, if something bad happens to a patient, but everyone has done the right things, but there
Yeah.
are a couple things that could have been done that may not have been done.
Yeah.
To not talk about it and to not point it out is a tragedy,
Tragedy.
right?
Yeah.
And it's not always that in that moment the outcome would have been different. The outcome would probably have been the same,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Having said that, on the next patient, in the next scenario, by trying these other things, then you don't leave any stone unturned, right? And so we do this in other arenas. Why not do it in your own personal life to make sure that you're able to grow and get to be your best self?
Man, God takes us from glory to glory. Along
Yes.
that path will be people He will assign to our life to sharpen us, to
Yeah.
shape us, to trim us, to help us become better. And I think it's important that we accept, embrace
Yeah.
people that are willing to tell us the truth and know
Yeah.
that it's not coming from a place of malice,
Yeah.
but it's coming from a place to see us win. And I think that's important. If you're taking all criticism personally and you're thinking that they're against me, nobody wants to see me succeed, you'll end up in this vortex of just mental interrogation, spiritual, demonic interrogation, where the enemy will have you against the whole world. And that's not the way this is
Well,
supposed to
and
be.
then also it'll have you stuck.
And we talked about that in the previous
Really? Yeah, like
stuck. Yeah.
the inability to receive constructive criticism
So good.
means that you will keep doing the same thing that you're doing.
good.
You will not be heeding the advice of people who
good.
have been there,
Yeah,
done that.
yeah.
You will be making mistakes that you don't have to make because they've already told you what you need to do.
Facts.
And frequently, they're also telling you what others are looking for when they're looking at you or judging or critiquing whatever it is, your project, your homework assignment, like whatever that thing is.
yeah.
They're telling you what other people are looking for.
Yeah.
So to not take that advice will only be detrimental to you because, again, these people have already achieved, they've already been there and done that, right? And so just being mindful, like being able to take critique is a skill. You have to master this skill. And taking critique does not mean doing what they say.
Right.
It means receiving it, compartmentalizing it, identifying what part of what they say will I incorporate into whatever it is I'm doing. What part will I put to the side and save for later? And what part will I just throw in the trash?
Good.
Right? Because everything someone says is not pertinent for your moment. And I'm not saying to be a puppet or a robot and do everything that someone says.
Yeah.
But to be able to receive it, to have people who are speaking into your life is a gift and a skill. I urge you to master that.
To get better in life, you got to have people telling you the truth. And I just want to lean in and help you understand this. Jesus does this for the disciples on a variety of occasions. He gives them constructive criticism. On one occasion, they asked him, Father brings his son to Jesus, and the disciples could not cast out the demon. And they said, the father said, I brought my son to your disciples, and they could not help him. And Jesus cast the demon out. And then, of course, the disciples say, why couldn't we do it? Jesus says this kind comes out only by prayer and by fasting. Another occasion, Jesus rebukes the disciples because they have no faith, little faith on the storm. It's about making them better. It's not about, pushing them away. It's about saying, I care enough about where you're going. I want to be invested in so you don't make the same mistakes I made.
Over and over again.
We do this with our mentees.
Yeah.
Let us tell you how to be successful so you don't have the same pitfalls that we had. That's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. It's so important because criticism is healthy. It comes constructive criticism. Constructive criticism is healthy.
Yeah.
It is not out of bounds.
Yeah.
Somebody tells you, don't wear that. Don't wear that color. That doesn't look good on you when you're trying to do this. Or you're going to speak at this event. Do this and don't do that. Those are the kinds of things I can point back to in my own life that help me.
And I would even argue, like, if you're having difficulty receiving a portion of the criticism, make it a conversation. Okay, Mr. So-and-so, Dr. So-and-so, whoever, I hear what you're saying. Help me understand how this will help me move forward. Help me understand why you said this portion of whatever it is that they said. Help me understand why this is correct versus this other way that I was thinking, because I just don't get it, right? Like, anyone who's really trying to help you will receive that and be able to then expound or explain further on what they're trying to get you to understand, and more importantly, the why behind the what. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't just say, well, why'd you say that? Like, take a step back and say, okay, I hear you, but help me understand how this has to do with X, Y, and Z, and why I should be incorporating this. Help me understand the long game here.
Everybody doesn't get that, right? The long game. Everybody thinks it's for right now, but it's always that long game. It's always thinking about the future and where God is taking you. So, Hunter, that's profound, and I think it's important. Were you thinking about the long game when you were, criticizing me constructively?
When I was critiquing you?
Criticizing.
Of course, because I want a partner who wins, right? I'm not going to say anything to you that's going to lead you down an erroneous path, because where you go, I go. Where I go, you go. We're linked. When you win, we win. When I win, we win. And so the goal is always iron sharpens iron. If I see something, what kind of wife would I be if I see you doing something and it's not the right way to do it, or it's not the right way to say it, or you're getting ready to go speak in front of people and you said something and that's the wrong word because it means something completely different to this particular group of people, and to not say it. Like, being able to be your third eye is why I'm here. And likewise, you're here to be my third eye. I'm here to be your third eye.
Yeah. Can you think of a moment that I constructively criticized you that was very pivotal in your life? She's going to say, nah, I can't think of that.
No, I mean, I wouldn't say that. I think it wasn't one moment. I think it was just this idea of you continuing to urge me to just, like, wear my coat. Like, don't stop playing small.
Yeah.
Like, walk into a room and be who God made you to be. Own it. Like, you don't have to, like, walk around and pretend that you're not who you are. Like, you're so used to, and I was used to being, in environments where I had to downplay my accomplishments simply to make other people feel comfortable. And that's not healthy. It's not healthy. And so when you get into an environment where someone is encouraging just you to be you and be yourself fully, it's hard to receive that because you don't know how other people are going to react. Well, the reality is, who cares? Be you, be who God made you to be, right? And when someone is telling you that this is a safe space to be you, it takes a little bit of time. So he was quite a bit of encouragement, but yeah, no, that was the biggest thing. I think that was transformative.
Hey, she said it. No, I appreciate that. No, and I mean, she's done a lot. I mean, too numerous to mention, but that's why I think it's important to marry someone, to be connected to people, have friends in your life that you trust. That's come from a good place, who want to see you win. Ultimately, it's just, I want to see you win, and we want to see y'all win. At the end of the day, one of the things about us, don't ever ask us for our advice unless you want the truth. Right. Boy, your feelings be hurt because we're going to tell you the truth.
And it's not coming from a bad place.
It's not. It's just, hey, this is just the way you can't do that, or you should do more of this and more of that. And I think being able to accept criticism, let me talk to you for a second. Being able to accept criticism is a gift, and it also it broadens your leadership,
Yeah.
your creative capacities, because not only do you receive it from, let me use this way, from mentors, from teachers, but you can also receive constructive criticism from those who work closely with you. Like, I open myself up to my team without penalty. Tell me what I could do to be better.
Yeah.
It won't cost you anything. It won't cost you a job. What do you see, and how can we do what we do better?
Yeah.
That's what leadership is all about.
Yeah, the
right?
inability to accept criticism will only lead to a ceiling that you cannot cross over. And by accepting criticism, it opens up to infinite possibilities because now you can go anywhere, right? And
Yeah.
so just sort of being mindful of this, that you accepting something that someone said in terms of absorbing it, not necessarily doing it, but being able to absorb it is only to your benefit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Girl, you dropped some jewels today.
You're so sweet.
Man,
I don't know.
dropping some jewels. No, but no, really, I just enjoy. I mean, this is really good. And so when you're being exposed to constructive criticism, don't fret.
Don't fret.
Somebody loves you enough to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to see you win.
Yeah.
And be willing to delineate between constructive criticism and just criticism.
Yeah. There's
You
a
can't get
difference.
caught up in what people are saying negatively about you. Only focusing on those things for people who want to see you win or giving you honest assessments of that situation. That's how you win. Man, this is a good one. I thank you. You're awesome. I enjoyed doing this with you.
Yeah, thank you. Likewise.
And thank y'all for tuning in today. I hope this episode has blessed you. I hope you will make sure you share, make sure you comment.
Yeah.
We want to hear those comments in this
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
And make sure you subscribe. Until next time, thank God for you being a part. We appreciate you so much. I'm Bishop.
And I'm Dr. Steph.
Until next time, peace.